We're live on YouTube, X, Rumble, about to be live on Rockfin as soon as the little red button is clickable. How's everybody doing this Saturday evening? This is Propaganda Report. I am Brad Binkley. CNN has a new show called, it's a new comedy show. It's another vehicle for propaganda, for election propaganda that will probably only last up until the election, then end, because I don't think it's going to be that great based on the trailers of it, but it's a new comedy show called Have I Got News for You, which is a ripoff of a BBC show of the same name. Better teeth, maybe better breath, I don't know. But the show is described as a comedy panel show which delivers comic observation from the satirical to the surreal through the lens of a news comedy show. And it's hosted by Roy Wood Jr., Amber Ruffin, and Michael Ian Black. And so tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to live stream the premiere of this CNN show, hopefully, if it allows me to do it from the CNN stream. If not, then we'll just talk some trash or we'll find something else to mock. And we're going to be mocking, hopefully, that. If it doesn't work, we'll find something else to mock. But joining me to help me mock CNN, a few special guests today. We have Joe and Jen of Legit Bat Podcast. Welcome, Joe and Jen. Fantastic to have you guys here. And we have Josh of Action Show Studios just now getting into frame. How's everybody doing this evening? We'll start with you guys, Joe and Jen.
What's going on, dude? Thanks for having us. As soon as I got your message about coming on and mocking CNN, I was like, we got to make time in our schedule. Actually, we didn't really have to make time. We just weren't doing anything. So
it's the weekend. It's fine. But yeah, we're doing great. Thank you so much for having us. I am super disappointed to hear that Michael Ian Black is on this show.
Yeah, he is.
We do it a whole lot. I don't know if you ever watched The State on MTV. That was one of my favorite shows growing up, and he was on there. So yikes. I'm
a little disappointed in him too.
I actually saw Stella live when I studied at the Upright Citizens Brigade.
That was a sketch of his?
No, Stella was like the inception of The State.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, you can see here, what up, Steve, on Rockfin. You can see how funny it's got to be with the picture here of them busting through the wall. It's very hilarious. Who took that picture and said, this is our promo image right here?
Well, that's what comedy looks like.
It's yeah.
It's a real like 90s sitcom type of look where they're like, woohoo, we're wacky.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, right. Oh, here it is. It is working here, so I'll put it up on screen. And here we go. Let's see how CNN's new.
Let's enjoy
Comedy show Roy Wood Jr. Get the audio up here.
This is a show where we look at the news of the week and ask questions like,
you guys hear that?
What is a comedy show doing on CNN?
CNN is a comedy show.
For the second week in a row, Beetlejuice is #1 at the box office, and fans on TikTok are recreating all their favorite dance moves. And RFK Jr. has given us an update on his stalled campaign.
No, it didn't, did it?
Hey, everybody. A lot of people are asking me if they live in a red state or a blue state, should they still be voting for me? What about swing states? The answer is easy, no.
Didn't he do that like over a month ago?
That's the first thing he's ever said that made sense. RFK could have locked down my vote 6 months ago if he'd have just told me to say no.
I wonder if this show's
we
going
got
to
a
be
game to
biased.
play, so please join me in welcoming our captains, Amber Ruffin and Michael Ian Black.
I doubt, Joe.
And
I doubt
let's meet our players on Amber's team. He literally wrote the book on how libertarian politics can fix what's wrong with America. I haven't read the book, but I do respectfully disagree. It's Matt Welch.
Was that like a timed planned laugh they had there?
Michael, you may know her from her Emmy-winning Black Lady sketch show series and the Rundown on BET. Please welcome one of entertainment's premier black job creators.
It does look a little bit like the Rock and Drag.
Boo-hoo titties.
Yeah, right. How dare she show those off?
Amber's team.
The Rock.
Go to you all first. Here's your first question. I am going to show you a
two gay white guys
referencing
an afro
story from this week. And
look at that jacket the black girl's wearing. Give me a break.
Let the games begin.
Yay! Okay, this guy's making a cheesesteak.
Philly cheese.
Okay, so this happened. Benjamin Franklin's eating a cheesesteak. Now that's just regular.
People are eating dogs.
Oh, the dog is food.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some.
They're showing a Trump rally.
Now, this is
left hand.
anyone's guess. Could be anything.
I don't
This is
understand.
really a thing
What
because
Philadelphia than
it's so
Springfield,
easy to
Ohio.
make fun of Biden and the left that they're
presume
like,
that we're
well,
talking
let's just
about,
try to pull
they're coming
grasp
after
at
your
straws
pets,
to make fun
apparently,
of.
just that there's no
Yeah.
evidence that any
Right? I
pets
It's
guess.
such
have been,
low-hanging
after,
fruit.
but
Well,
beyond
no,
that,
Steve, they
the
only make
former
fun of
president of the United
the
States
right.
apparently
That's all they're allowed to
read
do.
some meme
That's- yeah.
online and turned it into a presidential debate statement of fact within 24 hours.
But they're making fun of
On
it as
Tuesday
terrible.
night,
The left
Vice President
can't mean-
Harris and
Yeah,
former
they suck
President
at it.
Trump
They're like,
met
"You're
for their
weird."
first debate in Philadelphia. Here's an easier question for the two of you.
I like how
Who won?
Oh, who won the
I
debate?
think,
they're asking?
according
I
to
think-
Donald Trump,
Donald Trump
Yeah.
won according to Donald Trump. But according to anyone else.
Yeah, this is live on
planet
CNN,
Earth
Michael,
and
right now.
many other planets. Kamala
Oh
Harris
yes,
won.
obviously, yeah, definitely.
It's like SNL when it started sucking.
Yeah, this is what this is probably going to be SNL. SNL could
let's say
parody
she won on
this
stock.
show here if they
Right.
wanted to
Use
in their
the
opening.
way- and the rock
You
You
so
can say the
great.
left can feel really good about themselves.
And
It really is a
thoughtfulness
dick sucking
and
exercise.
hair
A lady dick or a male dick or they dick.
and every other measure. Yes.
Boner.
That's true.
According to a CNN flash poll, 63% of debate watchers said Kamala won and 37% said Trump won. So
Wow, that's high.
that was a CNN poll, so let's be fair. Let's bring another poll into the conversation. In a Newsmax poll, what percentage do you two think Trump got in the Newsmax poll?
I honestly think he got 62%. That's my real guess.
Have you not seen Newsmax?
It was
Have
really
you
Mike-
not
bad.
seen
It was
Newsmax?
so bad
Is he
that it hurt
gay?
my feelings.
Michael Ian Black?
I don't
Yes.
like him.
Right, right.
Roy, I'm going to take the over. What was your 67?
62.
I got 90.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on 90.
Newsmax.
yeah.
This is like
don't even know
asking
what
Kendrick
Newsmax is.
Lamar fans how Kendrick Lamar did
Newsmax is like a
in a rap battle.
It's what progressives tell
And now the
think
progressives
that
say
everybody
it's
who
the
doesn't agree with him
The
watches.
results of
If,
I
if
thought
you
it was
don't watch
Fox.
CNN or
Your voice was
MSNBC,
heard,
but you're
and
a
with
Fox
93%
person, you watch Newsmax.
President Trump won the debate.
I love
Yeah,
it.
first of all, polls
93
are
points
bullshit.
is wild. Like Trump wouldn't get 93
So-
points if you polled
Yeah, they're
his
also
kids.
polling only people that watch Newsmax.
Okay, so
Right.
we were into the debate, which means it's time to play a game called. Wait, what was the question? And here's what we're gonna do. I'll show you an answer that a candidate gave during the debate, and
And it's
you
just
all
gonna
have
be
to
Trump.
guess what the hell was the question.
Let's do it with
That
Biden.
was
Can we bring this back?
I like though that the
Do that in
student was
fiction.
like,
The student loans, and then I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach.
Amber, what was the question?
I feel
How
like
come
that
all the
one was.
questions go to these guys? Like, we're right here.
I knew you was gonna try this shit. I knew you was gonna try this. That's why we put a white dude with a black woman on both sides.
Because he's a beta cuck.
So you couldn't come with your,
Wow.
with your discrimination stuff. I know what you're trying to do, man. I'll get to you. Matt and Amber.
I feel
Yes.
like that was an abortion question.
I feel like these are
good
true
job,
believers
Matthew.
here.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
like I
feel
don't know how
like
you could
it
be a
was.
part of this as a
Actually, the
comedian.
question that led him to talk about student loans and Joe
What's
Biden
up,
on
Rito?
the beach was.
So I thought this was supposed to be a comedy show.
It's not near as funny as CNN is just normally, is it?
Yeah, they're trying too hard.
I like how they bring up though, showing that Newsmax and CNN, they show the CNN poll, they show the Newsmax poll, and they bring it to light that both sides have their own media that
Right,
could-
this is
as they
siloed
see
media.
differently. They're showing though the divide, and then they're like,
Right.
oh, here's our
Yeah.
side.
Why are you so beautiful?
I like how the autistic Poindexter, who's a
Turns out
libertarian,
Kamala brought up her guns because
the
of this
dude
question.
Oh,
writes a book. The
Vice
guy's
President
like,
Harris, in
"I've read a book,
2017, you
but
supported
I
Bernie
disagree
Sanders'
with
Oh, did
proposal
he?
to do away with private
That's the
insurance. What is your plan today?
Divine Nine Black Freemason lady that they just showed a clip of.
Close personal friend of Kamala.
In a healthcare
Yeah,
conversation.
definitely.
Like, if you shoot somebody,
I
they
mean,
don't
he
need
should
healthcare.
read the book before he has to judge something.
Huh?
Because on it they live.
Yeah.
That's
Why is she
solution-based
wearing that outfit?
policy.
The wildest
She looks like she should be on a bottle of syrup.
In
for that outfit.
Springfield,
Looks like she should be a
they're
curtain.
eating the dogs.
Yeah,
the
right,
people that
she
came
does,
in.
like your grandmother's
They're eating
curtain.
The cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I mean, there are a bunch of Springfield residents that are
Dude,
complaining about that.
How long? Is it about 3 months till they come out and say, "Oh, that was happening"?
Probably right after the election, they'll say that's a problem.
And no one will give a shit at that
We're
point.
going to turn now to immigration.
I've been
Why did you
watching-
try
I've been,
to
like,
kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of
Josh, you
criminal
bump your
agents and
audio up
officers
a
on the
bit,
force.
Josh.
I don't know how to. I'm on an iPad.
What was the fake name of the head of the Taliban
Go to your settings, see if you can bump it up.
that Donald Trump cited during the debate?
He picked the
So I just realized why this
most
show
obvious name
exists. It's because
to
the
make up
left
for the head of
is
the
so
Taliban.
bad at making things
Abdul.
funny that they have to rein people in and get them on Kamala's side because the right is so fucking good at making fun of them because they
Yeah.
are fucking ingrate and it's so
Here's
easy.
Donald Trump
And they're like,
freestyling
well,
the
let's just make
Taliban
our own
leader's name.
comedy thing. Oh, wow.
Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head
It
of the
won't let me
Taliban.
bump up the
And I
audio.
told Abdul,
That
"Don't
sounds
do it
better right
anymore.
there.
You do
I
it
just got
anymore, you're gonna have
closer.
problems." And he said, "Why do you send me a picture of my house?" I said, "You're going to have to figure that out, Abdul."
I don't know who Abdul is.
Oh, so-
and Trump
so
is
this
not
is
playing
just a
around
lie.
with his ass.
Got to figure it out.
There's a clip of CNN and MSNBC and all these networks saying the leader, his name is Abdul.
I talked to the
And they're just lying about this right
I
now.
talked to the president of Mexico,
Ah, par for
Jose.
the course.
It's so crazy.
I talked to the head of
They
France,
say that
a mime
that
croissant.
the right does that all the time though too. So I'm sure they feel like they have free reign.
Off the dome.
This guy's Trump impersonation's garbage.
Irresponsible.
It's
Does
just
he owe
his
the
own
Taliban an
voice.
apology?
Right.
No, we don't owe the Taliban an apology.
The vice president kept her cool all night, but there was
That-
one
The
point
Rock
where
It's
he
wild. There's a
Taliban
montage going around of
apology.
all these
See
networks
if you can spot it.
calling him
A place
Abdul
where
before
we
the debate.
honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive
looks so
respected
strong.
world leaders.
Her hair's flat at the top.
This,
The moderator's hair looked much better.
as president, invited them to Camp David.
Because you can't negotiate
What
without
word do you
talking to
think
people.
she wanted to say that, Michael? I know you speak fluent black
It's
woman.
no wonder he was
believe
so angry that whole
the word
debate.
we're looking
It's
for.
infuriating.
Is motherfucker.
Did they just say fuck on CNN?
They did, yeah, they did.
It's the second time.
What?
Matt, what say you? What do you think she was thinking about?
What does this world come
I'm
to?
deferring to my partner here.
The
fine.
black
You're
women are going to be
too
pegging the white dudes by the end of this show.
They already are.
Formed the M.
And her eyes said the rest.
I mean,
Oh,
you
that's
know
so
the
not
Rock's
funny.
gonna be pegging Michael.
This is why I wore a ball gag at Dragon Con with a white Dudes for Harris shirt on.
I'm actually
It's
down
what-
for that. All leftists should just wear ball gags so we don't have to hear you.
It's just the behavior of these men
She
is
would have
very
won the
not
election.
unmanly.
Do you think even the left finds this funny?
Yes,
It's objectively
100%.
not
They
funny.
have to though. That's all they have. This is all they have. And the right, I'm not even a Trump supporter, but it's funny to watch what they put out
He
about.
said
the left.
fuck 3 times now on CNN.
Oh shit!
That's the punchline. It's fuck. It's like
They paid for it. They're like, we have. I think Kamala just put all of her campaign money into it.
But how are they getting away with saying fuck on CNN?
they started swearing when Trump became president. They started swearing more and more because they're saying we're just repeating the president.
The deceptive tactics.
They're repeating the anonymous source who said the president said something.
Look, I cuss all the time, but I
Mr.
get a problem with cussing.
So, Michael and Robin, topic.
Yes.
I'll play some clips of the news. You
Michael
tell
and
me
the
what's
Rock.
story.
Okay, great.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Friendship bracelet.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift, obviously. There's some baby kittens in a basket.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Baseball. Just
Oh,
kidding.
wait, what's that?
That's a Palm Pilot.
And then it's approved.
It's approved.
Contract.
Okay, well, Taylor Swift, final answer, endorsed Kamala Harris for holding a cat. Kamala wasn't holding
Pretty
a cat.
much, yeah, shit, that's the answer.
Yay!
The answer.
Is
The
he-
Rock says
Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris for president immediately after Tuesday night's presidential
Is
debate.
Michael Ian Black gay? Are you serious? Is he really gay? Or does he just appear very gay?
All leftists appear gay.
I guess that's true.
This has been a big issue for people all year, and guessing whether or not, people have been trying to figure out whether or not she was who she was
hate
going to
watching
endorse.
comedy.
So once the news
Yeah, that's
dropped,
why I
every
wanted you here with
Democrat
us,
in
Josh.
America was like,
it just makes me so mad.
There's Flavor Flav.
you can't not see Flavor
According to
Flav and
Wikipedia, he is
smile.
married to a chick. He is not gay.
Michael Ian Black.
A chick in heavy air
I'm sure
quotes.
she's really turned on right now.
Her name is
The Rock
Martha.
says
A childless cat lady. Right?
So every answer
Love and hope,
is like
Taylor
the
Swift,
talking
childless
point
cat
for
lady.
one of the
And that's
talking
a huge
points for the
deal,
week.
because,
So
the
you
last
start
time
with the
Taylor
talking
Swift
points and you
identified
ask
as
a
cat
question
lady,
that
she
leads to
looked like
those
this.
answers.
what's with the like what I forgot what the thing is with the cat ladies these days. Why are we defending cat ladies?
Because JD Vance said something about childless
Are gonna
cat
be
ladies.
influenced by a billionaire celebrity who I think is fundamentally disconnected from the interests and the problems of most Americans.
The creepiest reaction came from Elon Musk, who gave the whole internet the ick by posting, quote, "Fine, Taylor, you win. I'll give you a child and guard your cats with my life."
That's funny.
In fairness, he's
That is
pretty
funny.
good at making kids. He's got 40 of them.
There's not a man on earth who could say that sentence to me and I would be turned on, except Lenny Kravitz.
I don't think he was
The
trying
Rock
to turn
said-
Taylor on though.
Difficulty, right? He hasn't had sex in 20 years. You're
Well,
like,
luckily,
okay.
none of us are trying to turn you on, bitch, whoever you are.
Putting it off, yeah.
He hasn't had sex in 20 years.
That might be hyperbolic,
Can I
but-
have this camera? Oh, Lenny. Hi, Lenny.
I'm speaking now.
Has Lenny Kravitz not had sex in 20 years? Is that what this guy said? Claimed?
That's very doubtful.
I doubt
Isn't
that.
it funny how the
How
leftists
does he
are
know?
really-
This guy, yeah,
Isn't it
right.
funny how they're really proud of being childless? And it's funny because the other side is like, "Thank you, please don't do that. We don't need any more of you at all."
Meanwhile,
Right.
the population's dropping and it will be detrimental to the human race. Everyone should be reproducing regardless of your political
not
views.
them.
No, I think they still should be, but they're proud to talk and tell people not to do it.
Have
Kids,
you not
maybe they'll
read
rebel.
the Georgia Guidestones? We're way overpopulated.
They've been destroyed. Nobody can read them anymore.
The Taylor bracelets, the friendship
You
bracelets.
can go on the way back.
The answer is Harris Waltz friendship bracelets.
No, that couldn't be a,
Charging $20 for two
like
bracelets.
that's worse than a
And
ball
the
gag and a butt
bracelets
plug at the
sold
same
out
time. Is
in
wearing a
less
Harris
than
Walls friendship
24
bracelet.
That's
hours.
about the gayest thing I've seen this year.
To be clear.
Well, that's all that they need
I'm
to show
gonna
that
get
Joe Biden
more.
could crank out by June.
I hate this. I want to kill myself.
So to sum it all up,
I thought it was funny how that white dude in the glasses was so quick to say Lenny Kravitz haven't had sex in 20 years, and they were like, "Really?" And he was kind of like, "Oh, I don't know." Like he's done way too much research on Lenny Kravitz's sex life.
I mean,
He just read a thing one time a few years ago and isn't fucking sure.
he's an autistic libertarian, Brad.
He's like, "I've been watching him from a tree outside his house."
And now let's cut the commercial break.
This
Fuck,
is
fuck,
jumping
fuck,
off.
fuck, 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 fuck,
Have I got news for you? Wow.
What do you guys
Oh,
think so
cats?
far?
Super
I wanna
gay.
kill my-
Oh, it's just a pathetic
Super
attempt at humor by the left.
Dude, it's so funny because the reason the left can't meme very well is because they have to be so PC unless they're talking about like Republicans.
White people.
So,
And comedy is about crossing the line, you know. And the only way they cross the line is they say "fuck" a couple of times.
I
it's
want
like
to
the
start.
same-
I want to start a petition to get rid of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish mascot because it's offensive. Not all Irish people are drunk and want to fight everybody.
just you right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I would fight
No, it's,
somebody over that.
This type of
After I
comedy
got
is what the Sam Tripoli calls this kind of comedy patty cake because it's like mainstream, super, vanilla, just kind of ha ha ha. And that's what I said. It's like 90s sitcoms where it's whackety whack whack woohoo. It's like a morning FM radio show. It's just right down the line.
Well, it's
And it's-
comfortable. That's what people want, and they're missing that from their lives right now. So the left is trying to bring it back. So they're like, "Come over to our side. It's so comfy here."
And the punchline is a snap line where
Yeah.
it's not something that makes you laugh. It's a point. It's a propaganda point that you agree with that makes you go, "Yes!"
And
like
that's something big. That's something big in our comedy.
If you're a hollow
right now,
shell of a
too.
human, yes, I feel like that is what would happen.
That's-
But the right, I'm not on either side, but the right, I feel like they don't do that. They just put it out there and they're like, if you like this, you like this. If you don't, fuck you. And that's fine.
That's
like,
how
I'm fine
comedy
with
should
that
be.
too. Well, it's not even comedy, it's just their views. But the left is trying to be weaselly. They're like, let's get in with comedy. Let's make people feel good about the fact that our economy's collapsing. Like, they don't care.
So Jeff
just
in
want people on
the
their side.
chat on our channel said it needs a laugh track, and I think they
Maybe I
have
think
one,
they have one.
kind of.
It's like Colbert with like not as quite as good as a laugh track going on. Like I feel like Colbert is watching this while jerking off Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon with both hands.
Oh, 100%.
Well,
There's like 6 people in the audience, and they're like, laugh now. They have to pause
Right.
time, you know.
And it's all producers and writers of this stuff.
Brad, you hit the mark with the snapping thing. That's like huge in the live comedy community right now. When the only people that are going to see the live comedy is all the other comedians.
It's not about
It's
it
not
really
even
is
real fucking people.
It's not. It really is. We agree with you, so we're showing appreciation because you share our point. And it's not. It's never guttural laughter. You can tell when you actually make them laugh because they'll stifle it if they disagree. If they realize after the fact that they disagree with it.
I mean, all
you
the
said,
shows for the past like 3 to 5 years have been nothing but just other comedians. It's not like real patrons anymore. Like we used to perform in front of people.
There's none of them left anymore, Josh.
Hey, we've gone to see a couple comedians lately. Like, we support.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, y'all are. Where are y'all?
California.
Yes,
Yeah,
Northern California.
There's still like a comedy scene there. I bet. Like here, it's like. It's like the fucking desolate wasteland of Mad Max version of comedy.
Ugh.
Oh,
No,
it's back,
like,
guys.
Brad, it's like what you were saying with like vetting the audience, like Kamala's rallies.
Oh, totally.
Everybody is vetted to be a live audience. In this.
Absolutely. No, it's 100%.
Pictures from the old Offendometer, which is the
Like, we couldn't get into
nice
this show.
little index
Oh, the
of everyone
Offendometer.
and everything that's made people
The
mad this week.
Offendometer?
Get into
Job of
the
the
show,
panelists
Brad. You
is
just
to
need to
tell us
dress up,
who's
and
the
I'll just
offender,
bring out my
what they
carrot.
did,
I gotta put
and
my ball gag. You put your Karen character.
Absolutely.
Put a sock in your pants so it looks like you're a
Just
chick
be
with
like,
a dick.
The man who turned up the heat wherever he is.
What's offensive about that?
The fact that they have an offensometer on a comedy show is a problem.
Governor of North Carolina?
Yes, we'll let them answer, and then we'll come to you.
How triggered are you?
Smart.
Yeah, he is smart.
They should call him an
It's
Uncle
the
Tom.
dude
They
who's
should just
running
go
for
there.
governor of North Carolina. I can tell you that.
Very good.
Now, what he did was he was like, he was like, fuck South Carolina, North
There's
Carolina
another fuck
rules."
drop.
That is North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, also known as MAGA's Great Black Hope, or as
Oh.
calls him, Tim Scott.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Who did Mark Robinson offend and why?
I thought we had a perfectly fine answer to that.
Wow, giving him.
We'd like to double down on the wrong answer.
So they went after both Tim
answer.
Scott.
The Girl Scouts of
And
America
this
are
guy.
mad at Mark Robinson, who's currently running for governor of North Carolina because
So are
his
any of
wife
these people real
allegedly
comedians?
stiffed the Girl Scouts for nearly $3,000
The-
worth of cookies.
That's terrible.
Like
That's
Michael
gotta be
Ian
a
Black is,
record
but
in terms
is
of
The Rock a real
Girl
comedian?
Scout cookies.
I don't know about her.
$3,000?
The other two are. Well, I don't know about the other white guy, but that girl is.
I mean, Thin Mints are
I mean,
delicious.
she's dressed
Don't
like
get
a
me wrong.
clown.
I love
So,
Thin
so you know what
Mints.
this show is doing is it's just like when they do those tests in the kids' schools where it's like Obama's presidency was the greatest presidency because A, he did blank, B, he did blank, with the premise being the propaganda. The premise of the questions of the propaganda here. I bet there's no evidence that this actually happened. Because we've already seen in the other questions that the questions included the propaganda. And I mean, this is all the level of election related propaganda and the channels that are pumping it through. It's shameless at this point.
A regular at a porn shop.
So he doesn't have the internet?
What's a porn shop and what's a regular? I went to a porn shop to buy a bunch of costume items so I could look like a white dude for Kamala at Dragon Con. Does that make me a regular at a porn shop?
It's not funny that you had to go to a specific shop to look like a leftist.
Yeah,
If you
right.
didn't put the right ball gag, though, you'd go back over and over and be like, "Oh, this one didn't work out." You'd become a regular,
I
but
did
it was
another
just
one.
This one wasn't big enough.
There was a lot of interesting people in
And that
there.
Robinson would stop in as many as 5 nights a week to watch porn videos in a private booth when he worked at a pizza shop nearby. And that's Pizza and delivery and porn, a classic combination.
I would love to know if this is true.
you
Maybe it is,
ever
but I want to know what he says.
From that
Where's the fact checkers?
Who?
get
Talking
Also,
about so they're smearing a black guy running for office as a Republican in North Carolina as a guy who goes and jerks off and eats pizza at the same time.
Who cares though? Everyone does
I
that.
know, right?
Oh, didn't the CNN producer jerk off on camera in front of everybody?
That was Tubin. He pulled his penis out.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So this
Right, that's a great point, Josh.
Thinking that they're
the Libertarian Poindexter, is he like a? Is he
You
like,
also had the CNN producers who were associated with it was Tapper's producers
hell?
with the child trafficking shit. That's Laura
this is
Loomer,
the
who
person
I'm not a
saying,
fan of her at all. But
so the Libertarian
angle couldn't
Poindexter,
be
you
worse.
think he's
I
a
mean-
wall libertarian? Or
no, I don't. I think he's a Chase Oliver, or neither.
Maybe we can get into this after this is over, but Laura Loomer, I'm not familiar with her at all.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah, I can tell you what I think about
Okay, so
Laura
that's
Loomer.
Laura
They're using
Loomer.
her. Yeah, we can talk about it when the show's
That's
over.
her. She said if
She's definitely
Kamala
interesting
Harris
looking.
wins, the smell of curry will permeate the White House, and all calls to the White House
That's not
will
unfunny.
be handled by call centers. Don't get mad at me.
And they're like, she's not Indian, she's black.
You're reading it in a very don't cancel me
They're
tempo.
like,
That's right.
That's right. You're doing great.
And I respect that.
Thank you, Roy.
You are correct. Points for you.
Good job.
You are correct.
Ooh,
Give us a
don't
tweet.
kill the messenger.
So we can read it properly. Laura Loomer posted a tweet that said if Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris wins, quote, the White House will smell like curry and the White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center.
she's Indian.
Okay, I'd like to give some notes. I mean, if you're going to make a terribly racist joke, this should be a paragraph.
Right. It's
What are you doing?
Racist.
And then they'll
Why is it
call
racist?
into the White
I
House.
know,
but
she's
then-
not
but
because
then it'll be a
she's
call
admitting she's
center.
Indian.
But then
Is she
when they
funny 'cause she
call
does
there, the people will
voices
be
and
like,
makes
"Please
big
hold," You know
faces?
what I mean? So then
Probably.
they'll have to hang up, and that's America.
And Kamala,
She's acting like she doesn't get the
because
call
she'd be
center
too
bit.
busy watching Gandhi.
Who of all people came
I said
to
if Kamala
Kamala's
wins,
defense?
then they'll turn the Oval Office into a kitchen. That's shorter. Maybe that's not racist.
So here's
I
who
said if
should have
Kamala
come
wins,
to
we're
her
gonna go
defense.
straight into World War
J.D.
III.
Vance's wife.
That's
Usha,
also short and
who
sweet.
is an Indian of
And
Indian
it's not
descent,
xenophobic like I usually
actually
am.
came to her defense out of left field. The incredibly racist Marjorie Taylor Greene.
This is all they've been talking about for 2 days. Are these
Marjorie
two?
Taylor Greene
The
said
space laser
Loomer,
thing was like
quote,
4
rhetoric
years
and
ago.
hateful tone is
Isn't this
concerning
grift versus grift?
and
that
does
we're
Yes,
talking
this is
about?
exactly what I was
MAGA
talking
as a
about.
whole.
The reason they're talking about all this shit is because Laura Loomer is a grifter who claims everything so that when something she claims is correct, she can just like delete everything else and say, I got it right. She's a huge grifter, and she was apparently on a
What
plane
did
with
George
Trump.
R.R. Martin do It's so bad now?
And so like you can discredit something by saying Laura Loomer said it. And so they put her in the news and they said that Laura Loomer told Trump to talk about the dogs being eaten in Ohio, which is trying to deter people from considering it and to looking into the problems going on in Ohio.
Dude,
Which
that has to be manufactured.
Martin
Oh my
of
God.
HBO and the
Everything's
showrunner of
been,
Game of
been
Thrones
only
spin-off series
halfway
House
on
of
the
Dragon
offensive meter.
by
It's only
publishing a
halfway
blog
offensive.
post criticizing the show's toxic changes from his original work.
Okay,
What?
well, maybe write more. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I do watch it.
do you watch
And
it?
there's like mad black people.
Does he
on
say
it.
that to his wife? Do you want to
Oh,
fuck
that
tonight?
doesn't change. He was mad.
The Rock says,
One thing I did not want. I said one thing.
Yeah, they are infatuated with
Black people
pigment, King
enslaved by
James.
Game of
It's
Thrones.
identity politics. They say Trump brings it up. It's always them that brings it up. They always ask him about the race stuff.
I need to watch this shit.
I need to watch. Oh, sorry. I just-
I'm not even allowed to participate in this part of the conversation. All right.
He just said he's not allowed to participate in this part of the conversation because he's a white guy.
I want to kill
Do you
myself.
not like the leftist move of the hands, or like they clap between every word? Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
You can do that in text too with the clap emoji.
That's what I mean.
He probably
what
created
I
it because
said.
of that.
I'm talking.
It's inherently
America's most
liberal
secret
to do
spy
that.
Agency now has blank.
The big dick.
Vaginas.
TikTok?
Boner.
What do you think?
Both.
Something open, something like
I should be
now
using this.
spy agency. It's a big surprise. Now has
I like your answer of TikTok, and I think you should believe in
Mr.
yourself.
White Man.
Look Roy right in the eye and say with all your might, TikTok.
You know why he can't believe in himself is because he feels racist the entire time he's on the show.
And
And all of this is
Very
definitely
autistic
planned. This was
voice.
rehearsed for sure. All of this.
Right, yeah, it totally was.
Agency has launched a podcast.
So the
that,
CIA has a
pulls back the
podcast.
curtain on its role
Yeah,
in
it's
keeping
called
America
the
safe.
biggest propaganda network on the face of the planet, the
Does anyone
CIA.
know what
Pulled back the
podcast is
curtain?
called? What's the
Is that like the
title of this
FOIA
podcast?
request that everyone gets that are all
This
redacted?
podcast
Bullshit
doesn't exist.
information?
Secret
Yeah.
podcast. This podcast is self-destructing 5-4.
So they're making fun of the CIA, yet the left right now,
Yeah, they're
one of the
controlled
things they attack about Trump is that he says he'll not that I believe that he will, or they say that he or Project 2025 would dismantle the CIA.
Oh, you know who wanted to do that originally?
JFK.
Yeah, who's a fucking Democrat.
Yeah, they kind of flipped it on all of that shit.
God, I hate.
And they're making fun of
everything.
podcasts for sure.
Yeah,
Always.
because they're going to tell all of the truth in the
Look at this
podcast.
Which is
Fuck
NSA's
face.
podcast that will talk in many ways about our SIGINT and cybersecurity mission, and really are a
That guy
next
is smug.
attempt in terms of transparency.
Oh,
Because we do
well,
want to
well,
be transparent
national
in terms
security
of wherever we
thing.
can, and we want to
Yeah.
be transparent with the American people.
Fucking NSA.
So they, yeah,
Transparent too many times.
Yeah. Who are you trying to
Yeah.
convince?
It'd be funny if their first guest was Edward Snowden.
does he like Edward Snowden or hate him? Because Edward
Michael
Snowden
Robin,
probably
here's your
disagrees with
headline.
Michael.
They used to
Black.
love Edward
Mr.
Snowden.
Greedy,
Now they hate him.
Penguin with blank, dead at 33.
Penguin with
Big
plan
tits.
to take over Gotham City.
That's right.
Dead.
He suffocated
33.
himself.
The answer is more than 200 offspring.
Oh. That's why they call him Mr. Greedy.
I can't do this, Brad. Why'd you bring me on here?
Well, not Mr.
I
Greedy.
knew it would anger you,
Oh my
Josh.
God, Mr. Brady's a hoe.
You knew what
No,
you
penguins
were
mate
getting
with
into
one.
when you fell in love with Mr.
Shouldn't the woman be dead?
Does Mr. Greedy know Nick Cannon?
Oh, that's
But
racist.
That's that he has that many offspring
Do they-
is
they just,
relevant.
like,
I
fake
think they're
laugh?
just
Say that again, Jen.
I think the fact that he has 200 offspring is irrelevant. They're just throwing stuff out. Again, grasping at straws, trying to bring the humor back when there is really none.
Child support.
Yeah, I don't.
6,000 fish.
Yeah, it's just
at least.
irrelevant.
Did they
Bullshit.
in that Nick Cannon joke?
It's
White
almost
guys shouldn't say that.
The cringe level is almost uncomfortable where you're like, ugh.
Did Nick
Yeah.
Cannon support Trump in some way?
I don't know.
It would surprise me if he did, actually.
That dude's
shot
fucking
at
There'd be no
shooting
reason for
loads.
them to bring him in because they're just trying to unite everyone. Who,
With that kind of baseline humor, everybody understands. Nick Cannon
That's
has
Yeah.
a lot of baby mamas.
and people who have nothing to hold on to, like their own selves.
They're
their
just
own
not
thoughts,
well
their
thought
own
out
reasoning.
jokes. It's just
They're most certain. They're
Lazy.
super surface. Yeah.
George is down 3-6.
This is CNN. Bad Christian.
should we place bets on what the ratings this show will get?
The answer.
It's got to be bad.
Smoke some
Yeah,
bomb.
it's got to be bad.
If we go to Rotten Tomatoes, it'll have great ratings. Except
Well,
for
I agree with you
terrible.
100%, Josh. It's going to look like it has great ratings. They're going to put that out there.
Like anything on Rotten Tomatoes, anything that's good has terrible ratings. By
Yeah, and they have the critics say it's the most amazing thing ever.
I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
Yeah, there's a black Republican candidate in Louisiana that already did that 2 years ago. What this person's doing.
My name's Sally Duvall. My name's Sally Duvall. My name's Sally. She kept repeating her name. That's so that we'd remember.
They all
it.
act like
She
they
used
don't
to
smoke
remember it.
pot.
Did he just culturally appropriate a redneck voice?
Wow.
Seems a little racist.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying with the fucking Fighting Irish thing.
All right, that's missing words. We got Amber's team with 100 points and Michael's team with an amount less than that. Sorry about that, Michael. Don't miss more comedy after the break.
More comedy
Oh.
after the break. Yes.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Wow, Brad, you've done it. I really want to kill myself.
That
This
was
entire show is making fun of the right. That's all they're doing. They're embodying them. They're pretending that it's a show making fun of the left, and they're making fun of the right doing that exact thing. It's like a template. It's wild. And also, I don't support either side, but they're really pathetic.
Isn't it crazy you have to qualify that?
Yeah,
I do that too
both
all the
sides.
time. You have to like.
Yep.
I hate both sides. The uniparty. It's the uniparty.
So Josh, tell them what you told me about the Dragon Con that you were.
Oh yeah, so I'm in drag as Daenerys Targaryen, and
That's not.
I sit down,
Khaleesi.
and there's two of my friends, and then one of the girls' friends, couple is there, and I'm talking to my friends. I'm not even acknowledging these other two people, and I'm like, oh yeah, Brad was here earlier, and he was passing out penis straws with a "White Guys for Kamala" T-shirt. And like it was like not even immediately, like a little time went by, and then the woman was like, oh, I bet you like misogynist humor. And I was like,
Yes.
what are you talking about? And she was like, you're the white guy for Kamala with the penis straws. And then she just starts like lacing into me like I was Brad. And I was like, I'm not even the one who's doing this, lady. Like, she was like, but you thought it was funny? I was like, I thought it was hilarious. Yes.
And
like,
there's no
that's what
doubt they would have
comedy
taken
is.
a penis straw had I just run into them without them knowing that.
And then like and then they started like so I started going on about how I hate both parties, and they told me that was a part of my white privilege. My white privilege allows me to either not vote or not want to participate or not agree with either side. You have to take a stand. You have to agree. And her husband is from Puerto Rico. His name is Sergio. And he goes, so, you know, I had privilege coming from Puerto Rico. And can you say my name? It's Sergio.
Well, he challenged you to say it.
Yeah.
You didn't know this.
And he goes,
You got challenged?
A lot of Americans, when I was growing up, they called me Serge or Sergio. And I was like, dude, that's on you for changing your name for them. I was like, and I can't say Sergio. I was like, did I say it correctly?
What would he have done if you had said it wrong? If you'd been like, Sergio.
I don't know. But like,
I think that's what he was expecting.
so they just
Dude,
like, all they did
That
was
whole
like,
pronouncing your name, like Kamala did that too. It's like, what
Yes,
the
she
fuck?
did. Did you
And
guys
what's
see?
your name? Like, fuck that. That's a name your mom gave you when you were born. It's not a big deal. It doesn't define you.
It
I've
is
studied dialects my entire life.
this attitude of being offended by mispronunciations and looking for reasons to get people. You know,
It's victim mentality. We've had whole shows about that with you, Brad, where it's a victim mentality.
absolutely.
Well, so I
Somebody can
brought up
get mad about.
I brought up the Tuskegee experiments with them with the vaccine, and the lady got pissed when I brought up the vaccine, and then I was like, well, I mean, you expect me to trust them after the Tuskegee experiments? And I was like, do you know what that is? Like they did with the name. And they were like, yeah, and who was behind that? What color people were behind that? And I was like, it doesn't matter what race the
It was
people
white.
are.
I mean, it's white people.
I was like, it was the fucking government.
Right.
the same
Like,
white
you
people that are
assume they
behind
were
the
all
shit.
white
It
at the
doesn't
time,
matter
but it's
that
the
I'm the
fucking
same color.
government.
Right.
And
Well, if you
and
bring
then-
up the vaccine, you get labeled as a MAGA Trumper anyway.
But they're just trying to be divisive. They're like, what color? Like, it's black, white.
Right,
it's you
right.
guys
And
must
that's
be
why
it.
they have this identity politics brain, because we don't give a shit. We know. We're like, yeah, it was white people from Johns Hopkins University who are also
They suck.
behind the shit that's going on right now. That's what we're trying to tell you. But all they see is the white. We're like, we don't see that. We don't see it like that.
So the lady goes, you sit down at my table. And I was like, oh, I forgot you own this table.
God,
I was like,
dude, I
with
didn't
two
realize it
other
went this
people
far.
that are sitting here with you. I was like, but it's not their table. It's your table, right? I was like, I'm sorry to offend you at your table. And so
Josh
I'm
is in
like,
a
all right.
dress the whole time, by the way. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
in a
I was
long
gonna
blonde
say,
wig.
You should
The
have
whole
called the dragons.
Yeah, she brought out the dragon. I'm up the unburned. So they get up and they're like, we're not taking this anymore. We're leaving. And I was like, is that how you end every conversation when you disagree with someone?
Wait, they left?
I was like,
Yes.
without discord, there is no education. As they're like leaving Trader Vic's, I'm just yelling.
Josh
back
is
at them.
following them into the parking lot in a long blonde wig and a dress. I didn't know they left. That's hilarious.
Meanwhile, then
terrifying.
after they leave, the woman was morbidly obese and had tattoos all over. I look at her friend and I go, she was just mad I looked better than she did.
Even men can be better women than women. Wow.
You're like, she ain't got a bussy like this.
No, hell no, she ain't got no pussy like this one.
Let's listen to a little bit more of this shit. And we'll...
Fan made a version of the game featuring the potential Veep.
Leaders do the work.
Oh, God. The Tim Waltz propaganda.
What crazy text?
Meanwhile, JD Vance will be appearing in the game
Oh, couch
Human
fucker.
Handshake Simulator.
Good to see you.
All right, take a drink when there's a couch fucker joke.
Here's your next group of four. Benjamin Netanyahu.
Super
Oh,
weird.
maybe not.
Gritty, M. Night Shyamalan, and Bruce Springsteen.
If we're
Bruce?
going on vibes, if we're going on vibes,
can't
Bruce
get over-
Springsteen is the odd man
You're right,
out
that's like your
because
grandma's
he like doesn't have the vibe of
beach
having
couch
committed
she's
a
wearing.
murder.
So a complimentary odd man out.
Yeah.
It's either Philly or Pennsylvania, because you got Gritty.
Oh.
Netanyahu
yes.
went to school in
So
Pennsylvania.
do they hate
as a
or they love
kid.
Netanyahu?
And
So I'm guessing.
all M. Night's movies are in Philly.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
M. Night
So
Shyamalan, it's like, he makes like the first 75% of the movie is pretty good, and then he makes you hate the rest of it. All of
he
it.
makes you want to kill
I would actually give it like a 95 with his movies. It's like 95% of the movie, like you're all in,
It
and
was
then
like-
the last tiny
Yeah.
portion is
He's
like,
just a master of ruining it all.
yeah.
Now, speaking of Philadelphia, the Harris campaign went all in on Philly-specific advertising before this week's debate, including the ad that said crowd size matters, and they showed a large and small version of what item?
I mean,
Cheesesteak.
Gotta be a cheesesteak.
A soft pretzel.
Oh.
Kamala had this ad up in Philly.
All right, I'll be right back.
You going to jerk off?
That's-
Yeah, I'm
First of
going-
all, 100% not true.
You're gonna go
That-
fucking
New York.
the pretzel thing.
Oh, really?
If you didn't saw pretzel, no. Here's what's happening.
Yes, Gritty, he's right here. Gritty coming to whoop
Your
your
makeup does Michael Ian Black out.
Are the people watching this 10 years old? This is bullshit, like little kid humor.
It is really.
Pretending to talk, like all of this is fake and canned. Does anyone
So
think this is
bad.
real right now? Get the fuck out of here.
Kamala, in addition to the
They've been having these guys on as guests on shows all week to do commentary on news.
said, when you want to
It's fine. It's humorous. I like watching it. It's
when
funny.
people don't show up to your rally, wow.
Genius. Genius.
Genius.
I don't
honestly
get
think
why they
this
don't. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I don't get why they don't make fun of Kamala at least a little bit. You know, at least Jon Stewart does a little bit of making fun of the other side. You know?
100%. That's why we all loved Trump's tweets. It wasn't because we thought they were super profound. I wasn't even voting for him or on his side. I just thought that they were funny. I was like, these are hilarious, just objectively hilarious. I don't care. I'm not going to vote for the guy, but that's funny. I love that they're talking about the dude trying to do fist bumps and no one fist bumps him back. Meanwhile, there are actual videos of Biden shaking hands with nobody lots of times.
I
They're
know.
not bringing that up at all. He's like, where's mom? Is she here? Shit.
It's just that, yeah,
Where'd
they
you
have
go?
so many easy ones they could use, but Kamala did an interview with Philadelphia radio or news station on Friday. Of course, they did it on Friday when the news won't pay as much attention to it. It was awful and it was embarrassing. They could make one joke about her and then say, "See, we're not biased," but they don't even care.
Is the truth.
No. I like that they have this though. I think they should have this. Honestly, like it needs to be out there.
Yeah, they're outing
The
themselves.
right is too good. Yeah, they're too good at making things funny against the left because the left's retarded. But they're
Yeah.
being dumb just right out in the public.
Gabriel's Inferno parts.
It's almost how dumb can we be to them, and they how unfunny and retarded can we be, and people still support it. Is how brainwashed people are. It's like a measurement of how effective the propaganda is.
Has the right ever done anything like this? I mean, I guess they have podcasts and things
You
like
won't
that.
hear
but
about it if they do.
I would make
Not
fun
this
of that
gotten
too.
this funded.
It's giving 50 Shades of Grey.
That's
I mean,
just funny.
Michael Ian Black, he's got a pretty good reputation. He probably, and so Roy Joyner, he was on the Daily Show.
Yeah,
You know-
I'm trying to wrap my brain around why we hate the left so much, because I don't support the right either. So collectively, I just think they're so sleazy and sneaky about it. They're trying to win over the favor of the people through CNN and through
And
comedy.
they're so out of touch and insulting. I feel
They
like.
are, yeah, it is. I agree.
And that girl with her hair and that shirt or that jacket we made fun of, I feel like that's bait, honestly. I honestly feel like it couldn't be more bait if there's a watermelon sitting in front of her. Just the way that she looks. It's just like, it feels like it's intentional.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think so too. It's weird. I think the whole thing though is
Onions. His favorite song is "Take Me to Church." His middle name at
I feel like if someone can actually watch this and find humor in it and feel deep down that this is really funny, this is real comedy, that's just pathetic.
Yeah, you know what the ratings will be? The ratings will be, you know what? It was. They made some good points. I'm going to give it another chance, and they'll give it enough of a chance to get through election season, and it'll reinforce propaganda points, and then they'll cut it immediately when the election's over.
Well, it's pandering to the 10th degree. Like they're pandering. They know exactly what audience is going to be watching this because it's on CNN. So they know that already. So they know all they have to do is continue their talking points that they talk about all day anyway.
But they also know people are going to be hate watching. They know that people like us are watching
Yeah,
this.
I
and
think
they
you're right.
know
They're
we
looking for the
hate
racist comments, probably.
Yeah, they're waiting for us to say something about it. I don't know what they're planning on doing about that. The fact that they said fuck 4 times is honestly, I think that's
crazy.
hilarious.
I'm
think it's
triggered by that.
I don't
personally.
care, but like, why
think
do I
it's
have to mark
just
that when I
weird.
upload a podcast that something is obscenity
Oh.
because I said fuck, but they say it all the time on CNN.
Well, they're setting precedent right now. Let's keep this recorded and make sure it gets stored into the Wayback Machine or whatever.
Yeah, they'll re-edit it a few months from now, and it'll be fudge if they put just like they do all the headlines.
Yeah, I know.
hecking.
I was there in 2024. They said fuck.
The border czar thing. You know, they go back. I played this clip from the Council on Foreign Relations probably a year ago at this point, where they talked about how news organizations need to go back and change headlines if they were false, and do what the correct thing is now, so you can't find it. And that's what they do now. They go back and they change the shit so it doesn't even show up in the Wayback Machine anymore unless somebody's screenshotted it.
That's bullshit. Why can't people just admit their mistakes? Why is it so bad to say, you know what, we were wrong. We just messed up. We had incorrect information. We reported on the wrong information, and now we're going to try to make it right. Why is that so fucking bad?
Because that is what rational, normal people will do, and I think they want to break rational, normal thinking. I don't think
Oh,
they
yeah,
want.
no, I
I think
agree,
they want people to just buy. What, like, what? I mean, what do you think? Do you think these people who do this? So we can take the border czar, for instance. There is plenty of audio montages now at this point, video of them calling Kamala the border czar, and then they started this dialogue that she was never the border czar. And they actually did start changing some of the headlines, but the audio stuff and the video stuff is out there. Do you think that these people are just so they don't care, that they just care about their paycheck and getting not getting fired? Or do you think that they actually have been led to believe we have to stop Donald Trump, therefore the ends justify the means, we have to change this because we know this evil person will use it against us to try and get elected?
Yeah. So with that, the Massachusetts mentality that I was talking about earlier, that I was kind of born into, 100% the latter. You don't actually have free thinking. And I'm not saying that you don't. Anyone can. If you are, I was young when I lived there. I moved out when I was like 20, but I had no free thought. I mean, I sort of did. I didn't really care that much about politics, but if you are deep into a friend group that believes all of one thing and you just kind of want to hang out and do your own thing, you're just going to go along with all of those politics. And I feel like that's what people are doing in the media. They're just like, oh yeah, we hate him. They're not really thinking for themselves, I guess is my point.
So on that
Anything
point,
that they say is just going to be whatever they're told. They don't really care about the outcome.
that one guy you talked to on your man on the street shit, he literally said verbatim, "I'm a free thinker." Do you remember that? I mean,
you talking about the
edited
guy with the
before.
long hair?
It was the guy that said he was a government employee or whatever.
Yes, right. Yes, that guy. Yeah.
I didn't watch.
Yeah,
the,
and then he
just
told me I
on
couldn't
audio,
say
but-
certain things.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a free thinker. If you feel the need to qualify yourself by saying I'm a free thinker,
Yeah.
you're not.
And he told us off camera that he is a government opinion shaper, and he was there to speak at that Israel Hamas thing, whatever the way he described it, Palestine. I was thinking about it. So they have these people come to these different groups where there's lots of people that can be influenced, to people who look and feel like them. And this guy looked like a person who'd be at Dragon Con. And he was there to speak as, oh, that guy looks like me, and he's speaking on this subject. And they send these people to all these places. And this guy was he's totally full of shit. He was a nice guy and fun to talk to, but he was also totally full of shit. You saw how I got him to admit that it's okay to call vanilla ice cream gay by the end of it. At first he said I couldn't say that, but he's like, you make a good point.
That's why he has that job, though, is because he can play a part and he can do like Turbine Sunrise said, NPC University. That's why he's allowed to do that, is because he can play that part and appear conversational and level-headed, but you can tell underlying what his views are and what his motivations and goal is in being there. It's easy.
And he flagged us down. He flagged us down. So that's what I've learned doing these man on the street things is I'll just go to a bunch of people and try and get people to say something. Sometimes you'll get people to say something funny that maybe aren't looking to say anything, but usually I'll go out and I'll start and I'll pretend to be doing like a newscast. We're live, blah, 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 blah. Like when Ian and I infiltrated, I'm still editing the video on this one. We infiltrated a Stop Project 2025 rally. I played this white dude for Harris again. Ian was my camera person. We were two gay men who were there to stop Project 2025. And the name that I came up with for our organization, I've said this on the show the other day, but I found a lanyard because I wanted to make a fake press pass, which I did. It might as well have been written in crayon, how poorly it was written too. And nobody cared. They all believed me. But it was from Medieval Times. So I said, oh, we're the Medieval Times. And we are a new organization dedicated to helping young people realize that if Trump is elected and Project 2025 implemented, then it will take this country back to medieval times and their rights will be taken away. We're not going back, which was the main chant that they were doing the entire time. So they fucking loved it. They didn't care that it was just, my name was Cornelius Wolfshirt, and it was scribbled on the stupidest little fake thing on my chest you've ever seen. And they all fucking loved everything that we're saying, but I just pretended to be doing a newscast, and then the ones who talk to you, they'll just come right over to you and just start blabbing their mouth. And that's what this guy, who was the government employee, did. Like, he came to us.
I think they're making fun of Biden right now. Wait,
I would
can you
like
turn
to
it
do
over?
it.
Because I really want to see. Hold on.
I would like to note real quick that one of the ads was for a pharmaceutical.
And throw her into the air like your dad used to do.
Did you show the picture of Biden looking in a mirror? I don't
feel
know.
like a Chewbacca spin-off series.
That's
would be off the
guy who had a stroke. What's his name?
That's right, Lenny. We're going to have our very
mountain?
own farm. With lots and
Say it
lots
again?
of rabbits.
Wow. Did you hear
It looks like the dude from.
Did you hear the
It
joke
looks
he
like a
made?
mountain.
Hodor, like
No, I didn't hear him. Missed it.
Amber, Hodor is a reference
They
to
called him
Game of
Hodor.
Thrones.
Right. No, with the little
Right,
feet
but
people.
everybody that they mentioned in the jokes about
Next picture.
Yeah.
What was the picture of Biden? Damn it.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Hey,
might be
y'all got
able
any more
to. No, I
babies?
can't take it back. I wish I could.
No, it's okay.
But like
They all
everything
look
they said about that politician,
It's probably like, look at George Washington.
everything they said about that politician was making fun of him for being retarded without.
Yes, he's a.
Hey, not anymore, baby.
She does look like The
Are
Rock.
you following me?
No, I know what you're talking about. You're not supposed to make fun of him because he had a stroke, and they were making fun of him for being
Well, they were
dumb.
calling him like
It took
Lenny
me a second
from.
to realize this is in a foreign country. I thought he was driving.
Yeah.
No, he's a passenger.
Yeah, it's passing. Yeah, see, everybody
Lenny is
knows
like
we're
a
dumb
famous-
Americans. I thought the Pope was driving.
Retard.
I thought he was
Retard,
getting
right?
pulled
and
over.
I also
remember-
love saying retard to the Kamala supporters and see how uncomfortable they got because they thought I was one.
You're
Fetterman. Yes, thank you, Steve. It's
That's
Fetterman.
great that we saw that picture for like 3 minutes. It's not funny still.
What are they?
I don't even
You're-
get it. Is he trying to suck the baby's dick?
This new
Because
one-
that's
I
what
mean,
they-
that's what you would think that they didn't say, but
Well, Brad, you're
Maybe the
you're a
VR
Curb Your Enthusiasm fan.
Do you know when
I was.
times were, Amber?
You remember so Lewis, right?
Yeah, he looks dead in the last episode. Like,
Remember when he did the play of Mice and Men?
The show's idiot in
Yeah.
real time.
And he was supposed to play the retarded guy.
yeah,
That's who they're calling Fetterman.
I'm
okay.
looking forward to the new
All right,
Twilight
interesting.
sequel. And what
Whereest thou, mine Oculus?
But like, if you made that show,
You're
That white guy looks
He also
defeated
has, like,
next
a
to her. Look at
conductor's
his
stick.
expression. Not this guy's.
if
if
maybe
you made that
Oh, it's
joke,
the new
though,
Mozart movie. That's
I
only
did. I
going
called
to
people
be
retarded. I called
in
Trump
virtual-
retarded.
No,
They didn't like
I'm
me saying
though,
that.
like,
For Rock Me, I'm a
as
Dorcas.
you- normal Brad Pitt, if you called that guy,
I was looking for a Rock Me
Yeah,
Amadeus
tough.
joke and I couldn't find
Yeah.
it. Thank you, Roy.
That was caption
I
competition.
wish that
Team
Michael
Amber,
Ian
you're at
Black
200
would just
Fetterman
reach
Hubs.
over
Our
and just
team,
grab
Michael,
one of
you
her
are down
titties,
14
honestly.
Amadeuses. We'll be back.
Just a little bit.
but they're allowed to make fun of retarded people if they don't say retard.
So they're allowed to imply that he's retarded without saying the word retard because the word retard is forbidden among them, which I found that out. None of them would say it. So one of the things I was doing when we infiltrated this group is I was telling them it's so inspiring how you guys go high when the other side goes low. I used to go low. In fact, just a few minutes ago, a misogynist, homophobic Trump supporter drove by and called me a communist faggot. And you know what I did? I said, "You're a faggot retard." And so I kept saying that to them. Yes. And they would laugh at it, but they would never say it. And I would say, "But you have taught me that I just need to respond to that with love." You know, and
Well, you know what's so funny is so Michael Ian Black was on the state, and I remember very clearly one of their skits was the Jew, the Italian, and the redhead. You guys remember that one? And they did a song. We all
That's
were
hilarious.
together on Avenue A. Like, there's a whole fucking song that they do. Michael Ian Black is not in the skit, but he was in the state when that happened.
yeah.
I didn't see him leave or throw a fit about it.
It's
It
just
was,
zero
it was the
stars out of
Jew,
5.
the what? The Jew, the
The
Italian.
Jew, the Italian, and the redhead gay. Look it up on YouTube. You can definitely find it.
Do you remember when it
100%.
used to be cool? Not cool, but do you remember all the Polak jokes? Like people from Poland? I never really got those because I didn't know there was a stereotype of Polish people. But a Jew, a Polak, and a whatever, you know, and
A rabbi
even as a
or
kid, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is a Polak? They're white too. We can't make fun of them.
But like, here's the thing though, like these people now are so indoctrinated that they think Italian is a race.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were
Or
showing
Polish is the
divisiveness. They're like the Jew, the Italian, and the redhead gay. Like they really personify their roles.
And the
in
Jewish
this skit.
description is the Jew was a very
But
nice
guess what? It's
person.
super funny. And then they do a little skit in between, and then they break out into song partway through. It's
And-
honestly
and
hilarious.
they won't
Everyone
do
loves
that
it.
anymore. Have you guys seen? So Will Ferrell, because he's promoting this new weird documentary that he goes on a
Oh,
road
yeah,
trip with his
trans
trans best, which is the weirdest thing ever.
Cool.
But he said in an interview
Best
that he
buddies for trainees.
he would no longer play a drag. He no longer dress in drag for comedy.
Right.
He feels remorse for that,
But like,
which is so
dude,
stupid.
it's funny. Like, Kids in the Hall was funny. It's funny
Yeah.
when men play women. It's
Have you
funny.
seen the dude from Kids
Or
in the
like
Hall
white
lately
chicks?
posting on Twitter where he looks like an old fucking grandma? The one dude, I don't remember his
No.
name, but
No.
it's so they all regret
Oh,
their comedy.
They're so many good comedy shows where dudes played chicks.
Okay, so that's
and it was great.
the exact point that Josh just made. It was funny. That's why they don't want to do it anymore, because it's funny and it's not serious, and that's their thing that they're doing. You can't
right.
make fun
They're
of it.
fucking serious.
Like there was a
They
show
made their
called-
money doing that shit, but they won't do it anymore.
There was a show
And
called
laughter is
The
the best
Characters.
medicine. So hey, take that away.
There was a short-lived show on Comedy Central called The Characters, or Netflix actually, and it was like 6 episodes, and each one they had like a main person playing, like was the star basically, and they were in every single sketch, and it was like men playing women, women playing men, like all kinds of like gender bending and shit like that, and it was fucking funny. And they were good at it. Like I comedy
No,
is
like Jim Carrey dressing up with the pigtails and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme where it's like 2000s comedy and then it says like 2024's reality?
Yeah, right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's still funny.
Jordan Peele played fucking women and Key and
all the
Peele
time.
all the time.
Dave Foley is who I was thinking about, who posted the picture of himself looking like an old grandma.
And what, he felt remorse about that? Because I love Dave
I don't know what he said, but he
really
posted a
sucks.
picture of him recently supporting Kamala, and he looked like if you're gonna put white dude for Harris on the stamp, it would be Dave Foley's picture.
Will actually put out another press announcement saying, "Oh, I wasn't endorsing that Kamala."
I love news radio.
Yeah.
Matt.
I think that maybe
I'm white and I'm here to be
not Kamala Harris,
emasculated.
but Tim Walz and JD Vance will schedule
Just like
an
Kamala
extra debate.
emasculated
So
Trump.
now
in the debate.
Donald Trump is no longer debating because he won, obviously. So,
I mean, this guy is here to
but
be
we need,
emasculated.
like,
That's
if we
why
need
him
the
and
gladiators
Hillary,
in
they're
policy, we
there.
need some
This
kind of
guy is
content, so
like
it'll be out.
the poster child for
Amber.
Poindexter.
Lenny Kravitz
Poindexter.
divorces Robin and marries Michael Ian Black.
They look like a couple from a progressive 80s show where there's an interracial couple.
Oh
I
my
hate-
God, that's so gay.
I hate this shit.
Michael Ian's black wife is getting gangbanged at home right now.
No, the other one though, the other couple, the Poindexter and the chick that looks like a
You're right. Yeah, it does look like that.
Yeah, because she's dressed like Brad said, your grandmother's couch.
At the beach.
And he's like fucking
Uncle at the
dork.
wedding only feels comfortable.
He looks like he's
doing
from the
robot.
BBC.
He does. His teeth are way too good
Woman
though.
pretends that
That's true.
scented candle was a great birthday gift.
Say birthday. Come on. Come on.
News for you. I want to thank our guests, Robin and Matt, and of course, thank you to our team captains, Amber Ruffin.
Oh,
That's her fucking that white guy in the ass.
And of course, our team captains of teams of one other person.
Thanks for watching Family Feud from 1991.
Thanks for ending this fucking torture. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thanks
I
a lot.
just haven't done many comedy shows. You end some comedy shows and you go back in the green room and there's a feel when you killed it. Everybody's like, yeah, like, it's unmistakable. Josh, you know this. And then you do a comedy show, and even if the audience response might be good, they might seem to like it. You miss the mark a little bit, and you go in there, and you can be like, yeah, good shit.
And
Like
they're
you
like,
can tell
"Eh."
the energy, yeah, is different. I just wonder how this group of people, after doing this, feels about this show. What do you guys
Well,
think?
they vetted the audience already. I think we discussed that. So they're already there to suck the balls of whatever. They're probably being paid to be an audience member. So
100.
those
Probably
guys,
right about that.
the hosts and everything can feel really good about themselves because they come out to a bunch of yes men and dudes that are slobbing their knobs afterwards, and they're
Yeah,
like, "Whoa!"
I think I think it depends on how self-aware you are. I don't
Yeah.
think these
I
people
don't think
have a
they
lot
are.
of self-awareness. If you guys, so Brad, like what you were saying, and Josh, I'm sure you felt this too. When you go into that room and you feel like you killed it in the audience, but maybe backstage it's like, ugh.
If
Well,
the audience, we got a standing
self-awareness,
ovation, but it didn't feel right, I still wouldn't feel good.
There,
about it.
there have been so many
That's exactly
shows.
self-awareness, though. That these people don't have that. They're just clinging to whatever. You guys are your own people.
There were
you
so many
don't-
shows where like even you
Yeah.
get good audience reactions, and like afterwards, I'm like, that was the worst fucking show I've ever.
No, I'm the
fuck
same
up.
way.
And then
I'm
you
just
go
feel like,
out-
oh,
you go
I'm
out
like,
to the
just not,
audience.
like that audience was like, I just,
You go
yeah.
out to the audience and they're like, "Oh my god, that was so good," and you're like,
and we are hard on ourselves, definitely, but
Yeah,
but
okay. Shut the
it's I
fuck
feel like are these people at all hard on themselves, or is it we just stuck to script, and so maybe their
No, these
mindset is
people have no
connected to their people
or they're
paying
being
their
paid
bills.
by CNN to do comedy.
Yeah, so they get that's because that's what their job is. Their job is to do what they're told by CNN. So that's probably
There's
we did what we're
sellouts.
told. Yeah,
Right.
But
So
I think being hard on yourself is a great quality. I think it's okay. I don't think you should beat yourself up to a pulp and tell yourself you suck and kill yourself. I'm just saying being a little bit hard on yourself isn't the worst thing in the world.
yeah, being
Yeah.
your own
That's
worst
what's told to
critic.
people now, kids these days, not to be like that, but a lot of kids are like, you're so hard on me. People are so hard on me. No, that's okay. That's a learning
they're like, my
process.
show sucked.
like-
I feel like a woman
so-
now.
So
There
there's
you
No,
go.
sometimes you just suck.
the
There's
old
that.
theater
Yeah,
I
it's
used
true.
to work at. One of the teachers, she's from Second City, an Improv Olympic, and Groundlings, and she got a complaint for being too critical to the students. Like
Oh, who knew?
that, like they can't take it. After I left the theater I worked for, they stopped giving notes and started calling it roses and thorns.
What?
How
the
does that work?
I guess it's like, well, you get a rose for doing this political thing, but
It's
you
a
get thorn.
participation trophy.
Right. It's like instead of being critical, it's a sweet way of doing it. When
But you
like
can't
I
be
was
like that.
told,
How is anyone going to grow without
You-
being
you
told
can't,
what
yeah.
is really
Absolutely.
wrong?
and like
Yeah.
I was told, like coming up and acting by casting directors, like you're never gonna be a working actor. If you want to do this, it's only because you like it. You're not gonna do it to get rich or famous.
Who
Do
said
it
that?
because you like it.
That's a good enough reason to do it.
But that's
Jay
fine.
Griffin-
Just be like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that. Whatever.
Like Shay used to tell everybody that like it's hard work to be a working actor.
No, I had to. So I had the same thing. I one of Tyler Perry's casting people who invited me after seeing an improv show to an audition. I bombed the audition. She was very critical, and then the next audition I went into, I booked a role in one of his TV shows. So it's like that criticism. I knew I had to do better next time.
It built you up, though. That was your learning moment. If they were like, "You're
Yeah.
doing great," then you might just be on "Have I Got News for You" tomorrow. And
Right.
suck.
No, and being you're talking about like, having a feeling afterwards of whether you bombed or whatever, but people are still kind of like, "Good job." You know whether you did or not. I've never done live stand-up comedy, although I'm thinking about it.
You
But
It's
should.
fun. Yeah, it's
even
fun.
on shows like this, like a live show, even just a regular show that we put out, I kind of know ahead of time before I put it out. I'm like, that wasn't my best work, but it's okay. Fuck it. Let's see how it lands. And you know what? Every
Yeah.
once in a while, sometimes when I think it was like kind of a mediocre show, it's the highest listened to show ever. I'm like,
and
wow.
that's absolutely so that's something that, especially in podcasting, I when I first started doing it, I would want to go through and edit stuff, and sometimes you need to edit stuff because people on the show would request it.
Right.
But like, it just slows you down from growing, and I don't know why I'm thinking of the whole operate break stuff, and then figure it out on the way, just move fast and break stuff.
Fall and figure it out on the
Yeah,
way.
with improv is you put it out there and then you try you find what works, and you find it, like you were pointing out, Joe, that some of the things that you might be critical of that might actually be part of your charm or part of what to hone
you
in
never
on.
know.
Yeah, we got a great comment here from Jeff who says this is the insurance commercial I keep seeing where there's this insurance commercial where two white guys in suits are planning to overcharge two female people of color customers with a friendly sales lady helps her customers sort their plans. That's how they cast us now. And stuff.
You bring up doing stand up, which I absolutely think you should. I was gonna say you should take an improv class, but UCB, IO, Second City have all been bought by corporations now, and they've fired all of their like instructors that have been there forever and like started the place and stuff like that, and have any knowledge of the craft.
Two
But I wouldn't be
non-PT.
surprised if the corporations that they were bought by are owned by BlackRock, because improv theaters are a perfect place to do
They're so gay.
well, to do like political activism classes and like
Yes.
things
Yes.
along those lines. Like
We've done some free thinking, like we've done improv on our back patio a couple
I
times.
just told Brad about that yesterday.
So we were just, and we don't even know what we're doing, but we're like, okay, you're a seagull in the back and I'm a seagull in the front. All right, what are we doing? We're flying over the Atlantic. Like, make up random shit.
Oh, it's the most random
Or
shit
he
you've
was
ever
like,
heard.
you're
Yeah,
concrete and I'm a garbage can or whatever. Like, we just we would give ourselves roles and we'd take turns and then we'd talk and we're like, go
And see,
embody that role.
I thought it was funny,
It was
but if I
awesome.
were to listen to it later, it probably would have sucked. But you never know. You put it
Well,
out on
No way.
YouTube.
The
Why
seagull-
that? So here's why that with improv, and this is a great observation you're bringing up that translates into politics. Is the reason that people get good at improv is because the whole idea of improv is there's supposed to be no judgment when you come in and you start doing it and you take classes.
There's no wrong answer.
Right, because if you
can't say
come in
that.
and there's and you start judging people about the choices they make, then they get in their head and they can't do it. And that's why a lot of the people that I used to see and still online calling other people racist that are very, very progressive people, in my head, I'm like, dude, I have heard you say the N-word hard R so many times during an improv warm-up because you were going through your shocking phase of comedy and you were playing all these characters that were literally calling black people in your group the hard R, black people who were just very cool about it. But I don't think these people are racist.
That this guy you're talking about was not cool about it.
No, I know the person. I know the guy. It was. Everybody was okay with it. It wasn't smart, but it was just like, no, it wasn't. Nobody encouraged like, hey, say the hard R, but it was just like, nobody's going to judge you when you're doing your warm up, when you're doing your growth, and comedians of all races go through these things. And the fact that you can go out there and you can experiment and cross the line is what makes people find what the line is so that they can then pull back. Because if you go out and say the hard R on stage, especially to a black person, nobody's going to laugh at it. Nobody's
Especially
going
if you only say that. Like you come out on stage and you're just hard R and
right.
Like,
Improv is to find your bottom.
And improv now they don't allow that.
Find where you suck.
the baseline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
They don't allow
they
anything.
don't allow you to like. I'm not saying say hard R, but they don't allow you. So if I were to go out and play a gay character or say the word fag on stage, that is not something that is acceptable. In improv. Now shooting President Trump is acceptable. We found out. Shooting President Biden probably not acceptable on stage. It's very the whole idea of freedom of exploration and finding what works and what doesn't has kind of been stripped away from the improv that I see, at least in Atlanta right now.
So that's sad
Yeah,
because that's such a free place. Comedy is supposed to be just free. Patrice O'Neill was talking about that. Comedy just comes from where it comes from. Like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it offends you or not. I'm just throwing something out there. If it's funny to you, it's funny to you. If not, whatever. But it's not from a place of hate. Comedy doesn't come from a place of hate.
No. It's people saying things that they think, especially when they begin. This is what leads to people saying stuff like white guys saying the hard R is because it's a shocking thing they've been told not to say their whole life. You know, right? You know,
And it might not work. And the whole point is it's a learning and growing experience. Improv is every word out of your mouth is something you should learn from. Like, pay attention to the audience, pay attention to how you feel when you say it, and then take that energy and keep going.
No,
Josh,
so
what
what
do you
talking about,
okay.
like what you can't say and all that stuff. So Jeff in the chat said 2004 the humor was exactly opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the weird thing is that I'm still working on like my 2004 sense of humor. So I say that stuff and that would have killed back in the day. And now it's like you got half the crowd walking out because they're offended.
I think
like,
it's coming back around a little bit.
I mean, I haven't matured since 1999. So,
what do you see, Josh? You're out there in the theater improv arena more than I am.
I mean, it's like so basically after the pandemic, all these kids. So a lot of people kind of went away, and theaters went away, and stuff like that. But all these kids started doing what's called jams, where they just come and like perform. And then they were like, well, I've been jamming for 2 years and now I got a troupe and we charge $20 to come watch a show. And they're just saturating the market with their garbage and they're destroying a fucking art form that I studied my whole life at. And then on top of that, like, especially in our market, nobody fucking teaches it well here. Like,
they promote inclusivity ideas and what's your pronoun stuff ahead of.
Could you teach it, Josh?
Oh, I've taught it for close to 20 years.
You
so.
still teach it now?
Oh, teach us. Teach us, master.
No, I mean, are you still allowed to teach?
Yeah. I mean, we're in the middle of probably opening our own venue.
Nice.
But I was just thinking too,
POCs only.
I was like, it'd be fun if Brad and I came out to LA and did some like improv workshops with you guys.
I'm
Or if
not.
y'all-
We
down
don't
there.
live in LA. I know we said we live in California.
I said
It's
California. Yeah.
Everyone
Everything's
thinks we
LA.
live in
Everything's LA.
I know. We live about 10 hours north of LA.
That's
So
crazy
you
how
just
big
hop
this
on
state
down
is.
to LA if
Yeah.
you like, and we'll take a plane down there. It'll take us probably 2 hours. But yeah, we live closer to like Oregon.
Yeah,
That's
we're about
crazy.
2 hours south of.
I was
the
just
Oregon.
saying we should come
Yeah.
visit you guys and
Hell yeah,
You
should.
can still.
Yeah,
It's just farther up.
we're in the Reading area. Like it's very far
I'm,
north.
I'm a big fan of y'all's show too. I think y'all do really good work. So when y'all popped on, I was like, "Oh, it's Joe and Jen. I know these guys." So like,
That's
Are
so
you serious?
that's funny to hear.
That's
So I
fucking
will
wild.
say, so want to hear a funny story, Josh? When Brad and Monica were like one of our first guests on, and in 2020, right before we started our show, I lost my job because of COVID, and I was door dashing all the time, and all I would listen to was Prop Report. And when Brad and Monica came on, I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to do. I was like fucking starstruck. It's so funny. And now Joe's like, hey, Brad's coming on, or we're going to go on a show. I'm like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
I love coming to y'all's show.
Well, I
It's
got
so much
It's
fun.
funny because I'm like, oh my
Brad, so-
God.
Play the mouse sperm for Josh. I don't know if
Mouse
yeah.
sperm.
I have it. It's right here. Just have to get the right page. Here we go.
Mouse sperm.
I like how
That's
you
it.
separated the S's. That's
Yeah.
a that's a
Mouse-
theater
It's
thing.
Josh's
You were
favorite
like,
drink.
I don't want it to be mouse perm.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that people
and
know it's
articulate
mouse
that very well to make sure
sperm.
people knew what I
You
was
did.
talking about.
The enunciation
Well, that
was on
particular
point.
set of words is weird because if you say mouse sperm,
Yeah, it's a
You got to
mouse
make sure there's a
I think they
space
have, like,
there.
the do.
I
Dude, it's
teach a
saying-
class on how to say that word. Mouse sperm.
well, I have it forever in my soundboard. So,
Yeah, so
it's-
Joe clips just funny lines from shows that he listens to, and he plays them on the show a lot. They're very funny.
Yeah.
I think they're funny.
Yeah, he
I do
does.
too. I think they're great.
Hilarious. I think they're pretty funny too.
I don't give a
most of the
shit.
time.
Listeners, if you don't like the soundboard, don't listen to the show. That's
He
all I
also
have to say.
puts a video up every like 3 or 4 months of me falling over on my chair. The one time I ever fell over, he puts it up like once. in a
I think
while.
we had the
That'd be
same
great.
backdrop. Do you want to try again?
We did. Nope, I don't. I was fucking around. I was just like, yeah, and then whoop, and I just went backwards.
Oh my god, I would laugh
That's
so hard if you just did it again.
No, I'm very careful now.
well, you know, if you guys ever wanted the president to call in, I could probably make that happen for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
hell
we
yeah,
might
you
have to do
Oh,
that.
you should do an intro for us. So we do different intros from listeners or from anyone every single week. We
Pretty
try
much
to do
every
that.
week. I do a different intro.
Joe did Joe did an AI of Trump
Oh, I don't have it
introducing
on the
us.
computer. It's on my phone.
Oh shit.
Oh wait, I might have. Nah, I'm not gonna play it.
All right, but whatever. If you want to do an intro to Legit Bat, that would be fucking sick.
Why don't you guys go ahead and tell everybody, since we're talking about some of this stuff, where everybody can find you guys and how to follow you.
Google. If you know how to use the search bar, you
Yeah,
just
Google.
legit that podcast. And everything shows up. It's right there. But yeah, I mean, where you're listening right now, it could be audio, it could be YouTube, Rockfin. We're on pretty much everything except
Bat-
Rumble.
Is it
I gotta
Legit
get
Bat
on
Pod
Rumble.
on Instagram?
Legit Bat on Instagram. Fire memes. Oh my god, most of them I steal. Just
And some of them go
forewarning.
very viral. It's
Hell
pretty
yeah.
crazy. The ones that do are kind of weird.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Soundboard is the
internet.
best, says Jeff. Yeah, I love the soundboard.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
Soundboard as well. Josh, is there anywhere you want to direct people to? Any Action Show Studios? And
Yeah, I do most of my complaining on Twitter at FuzzLandstrong6. So
Fuzz Landstrong is
that's where I troll people like politicians and stuff like that from and complain about.
of
doing it.
Astronaut
yeah.
University. Fuzz Landstrong.
Yeah, he was the second man on Mars.
Johnny Blastoff is my name, which I told that lady that I was interviewing on the street as a
Of
white
course
dude.
you
for
are.
Harris than I was. Yeah.
She was like, cool. I'm super accepting of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the reason I came up with a name for the next time we went, the Medieval Times, was because she's like, "Where am I going to see this? Oh my God, is this going to be online?" And I was like, "Oh," and I made something up. So I realized I had to come in the next time with a made up a news organization. So that's why I just used Astronaut University and told her.
Dude, you got to start doing get even crazier. Look like the most leftist you could fucking do, and then come up and be like,
well, we're gonna bring Josh next time to be my trans girlfriend.
Oh, you'd make a great trans Josh. No homo.
In his Daenerys Targaryen outfit.
Fag hags.
Yeah. I make a very beautiful woman.
Ian thought it would be funny if Josh dressed up just in the Trump hair. Just he's Trump, but he puts on a white dude for Harris shirt, and he's trying to pose as I'm a white dude for Harris. He's just obviously Trump.
Reminds me of South Park when who was it? Fucking Saddam Hussein was fucking the devil. That's that.
The pineapple one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, was that?
Speaking of the devil, how did it not raise red flags for people when Dick Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris?
And Khan was promoting it all the time.
Dick Bush.
It's got to be playing to the younger people who weren't alive or don't remember anything about all of that. That's all I can think of.
Dick. People don't know Dick anymore.
Obviously,
the new generation have no idea who Dick Cheney is.
They're playing to the younger people, even though there's less younger people every single day, and they want the population to dwindle.
Yeah,
they're like, let's
totally.
new ones while we
Georgia
can.
Guidestones.
Yeah, who blew those things up? They never solved that mystery.
Well, Brad, we need to go to Springfield, Ohio.
He wants to go investigate the dog and cat eating.
Eating the cats. Eating the cats.
Cats, yes. I mean, it would be good footage to get. There's no doubt about it.
The song kind of slaps. I mean, just saying.
It's all over TikTok. Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty good.
That's like, so I think Trump, people say he lost the debate. Trump saying that was, Ian pointed out, that was the most researched thing, and it does get people to invest. It's why I think they put Laura Loomer in the news to attach Laura Loomer to it, is because Laura Loomer is so discrediting, is they don't want people looking into what the stuff behind those allegations are, which are the cultural class problems. Yeah.
Super common tactic.
It's mainstream news that she said that, and she feels terrible because she just made this up. Meanwhile, there's like a million TikTok videos showing dogs on spits and people eating dogs.
My buddy said that there's no evidence at all you can find about it.
Yeah, and that is another thing that we like. That's another opportunity to say pussies a lot with this story. That's exactly right. I actually have the exact same thought.
There is like visual evidence of these people doing that, because a friend of mine, far leftist, he claims that there's no way to find
pussies and cocks. Yeah. He says there's no. So the base reality of it is
the people complaining in Springfield are just xenophobes.
So if we say that we don't have, if there's no evidence, and this is what they don't want people looking into. Let's say that there is not evidence of people eating cats or dogs. The evidence that has been shown, that you see all over Alex Jones channels and other channels, that is of another place or another year. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying let's assume that is not hard enough evidence for people, because
like the man in the last castle, it's from an alternate universe.
I guess because they always have a built-in explanation from their media, and that's why we see the media on the left who are feeding them. Here's another lie. Here's an explanation for you to refute anything anybody says to you that suggests otherwise.
For democracy or whatever.
If you just look at where people come from, how long they've been there, and if a behavior in one country is normal, and this behavior, why wouldn't it be normal if you're in a third world country and you're hungry and you don't have food? That you're going to eat stray animals. That's not uncommon. And now with the voodoo thing, from what I understand, that happens over there. And I know somebody who rescued a dog that was being held on a chain outside of their house. It had a voodoo-ish religion, and they sacrificed animals, and the police came and took their animals away. And the dog was like starving to death, and so some of the other animals. So this stuff does exist. And so if this stuff exists over here, and you take people who have lived by this culture their entire lives, and then you put them here in America, in Ohio, that does not live by this culture, they're not going to suddenly act like Ohioan, people from Ohio. They're going to behave the same way.
Well,
that is like common sense.
Exist at all. Like voodoo's just like something from TV and to make fun of people from Creole New Orleans.
Right. So even the voodoo, though, like that might be true, but that's also a way to make people say I don't believe it. But the very base level of cultural clash is, I think, the underlying thing that the spotlight. This puts the spotlight on that they don't want people looking into, and so they put Laura Loomer in the head of the news to discredit the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I think that the left is all they do is sneaky shit. And I'm not saying the right's any better, guys.
Right.
Okay, please don't think I'm sorry, disqualifying again. Anyway, but they're so fucking sneaky. They're going to come in and be like, "Well, this isn't real. Let's just fucking plow this over like it didn't exist."
The story is
it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Absolutely. Now the story is all of the attacks on Haitians in Ohio because of Trump, all of the racist attacks against them.
Yeah, because of Trump. And it's like, well, maybe it might be real. Let's at least, I would rather have
I'll entertain
one of
any
the
idea.
sides say, hey, let's go dig into this and see what's really happening.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground, and honestly, anyone can come in and anyone should be allowed in to see what they're looking at. But no one's doing that. They're like, no, you're going to see what I'm telling you you're
Totally.
seeing.
It's to believe
The
one
left and
side
right
or
are
the
both
other.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The left is kind of grosser at it. I don't know. I feel like they're a little grosser. I'm not
I
voting
do
for either
too.
side. I'm just going
And-
to see which.
And it is funny.
Who's
I
in-
qualify myself all the time, just like you. Like I do the same thing. I didn't vote for Trump. I'm not voting for anybody. But I agree with you on that. I feel like they're a little bit grosser about it over on the left.
I feel like the last couple years we felt like we had to qualify ourselves like that. Now I don't give a fuck. So
Well-
if you've ever heard Charlie Robinson's approach to this, he's like, call me whatever, homophobic, racist, misogynistic, and he just goes, yeah, and
It's
like, what are you
'cause-
gonna do? Throw
it's
me in
because
jail? I
I'm-
don't care.
I'm like, I have PTSD and I should not, because my whole family's from Massachusetts. So when I say things like, hey, like Biden Harris, that's pretty weird, right? And they're like, oh, you're a Trump
You
supporter?
can't say weird. That's a
Th-
leftist.
I know, right?
This was back in the day,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would talk about VAERS statistics and they're like, what? You're like, I kind of read that and I did think that was weird, but did you get your next COVID shot? And I'm like, I didn't get any. What the
Just
fuck?
straight over the
And they're
head.
like, wow, honey, you're my only child who's a Trump supporter. And I had not mentioned Trump the entire conversation. And I wasn't a Trump supporter, didn't vote for him. So I'm like,
It's amazing.
oh man.
It is
my
crazy.
whole-
Trump he brags about Operation Warp Speed too, but they still associate somebody who's not vaccinated with Trump.
Dude, that's a whole
Yep.
other show, but it is funny how when this first started in 2020 and Trump was like, we'll get a vaccine out and all this stuff.
He was promoting the vaccine.
While it was in production, apparently, all the leftists were like, I'm not taking a Trump vaccine.
I know. Kamala said it.
Then it came out and they were like, everybody needs to be vaccinated now. It's like, you know who started this, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah,
doing?
but the left
funny.
does that too, which is super funny. Our friends who are super lefties are like, well, now that everyone's dying, like, remember the vaccines came out with Trump? And they say that to us like we give a fuck. I'm
They're
like,
all
oh,
in fucking cahoots.
Yeah.
cool. I don't care.
I'm actually
Yeah, like-
surprised I don't hear more of that clip of Kamala saying she would not take a vaccine that Trump put out, because there is one of those from
Well, she
back
still
in the
probably
day.
hasn't taken it because
It,
she's
it
alive.
flipped so fast though. Like it was like a couple month turnaround where they said I wouldn't take a Trump vaccine. Then it flipped a 180 and they were like, if you don't get vaccinated, you're a Trumper. It's like, what?
And also, like, who thinks that Trump's like making these vaccines? I definitely
He's in the
did.
lab making them himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm
Yeah.
also a sign. He's got a white coat.
them from the bats.
Oh, yeah,
we
he's
just
mi-
have to get the counter poison.
Yeah, he's
But-
mixing the chemicals himself. That's what he
Yeah.
does in his spare
Retarded.
time.
Yeah. So I'll say I don't trust politics. So Bad Christian says Trump is the only one who cares about America. What I look at is I don't trust politicians on a base just level. That's my default position.
In general.
But
Yeah.
the mentality, and I've been to many of the rallies and stuff, and I've been on the street talking to a lot of people this past year. I was counting it the other day. I've actually been to a lot of events and done a lot of man on the street stuff this past year. The enthusiasm for Kamala is not real. The enthusiasm for Trump is real. Not Israel, is real.
I get it.
But
Biggest real ever.
But the mentality that Biden and Harris's message promotes is that of you are helpless without us.
Hmm?
You
Victim
depend
mentality.
on us. The mentality that Trump's message creates in the people who support him, from what I've seen, is you are capable, you don't need these people who say they control your life. Is that you are you're empowered, you can do whatever you want. And so I think that is an attitude and independence and empowerment that they want to squash.
Stifle.
Yes.
I think it's super divisive, though. It's the opposite of the other. And they want people to be in one or other. They
Because
want
they know-
in one or another camp.
They know human psychology, and that's how we lean is tribalism, extreme tribalism.
But
like
if they know
we're on
we're
one
in
side
the
or the other.
other,
It's
yeah,
team sports.
I agree with you, Brad. I do think that Trump and the whole right message isn't like, you need us. But there are some people who are, full blown.
Oh, yeah.
Trump, like he's the
There's-
savior, like the antichrist, or not the
There's
antichrist.
definitely
Yeah,
going to be
Korean
people who
soldier.
are
Well, I mean, I
on
don't-
all sides of it.
right.
I think that I think that you can find, like, I showed this video when I was at the Trump rally of everybody. I talked to a bunch of the protesters, and I talked to a bunch of people who supported Trump, and the people who supported Trump, the protesters didn't even support Kamala, by the way, or Biden. They were just anti
They just hated
everything.
Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, they hated Trump, and
So
the
that's
only
a
one,
weird demographic, real quick. A demographic that hates Trump but doesn't support Kamala. What is that, like
That's-
1% of the population? They're
For
trying
the-
to Kamala's trying to
the
snatch them
people
up.
that I talk to, most of them are pro Kamala because they hate Trump. That's the first answer they give me.
Oh yeah,
every
100%.
single time. And
Every
the ones that were pro Trump outside of Trump's rally were 99% really good. And they were like, I believe in their right to free speech. Maybe I don't agree with what they say, whatever. But then this one lady who got too drunk, she got a little too drunk, and then they gave a brown lady who with an accent the bullhorn in the Antifa group, and she was chanting all the Antifa stuff when it was a white dude before, and she was chanting it while Trump was speaking, and they had a big board outside, and the speakers were working great, and you could hear the speakers well over the chanters until then, but then one of the speakers went out, and so now this woman of color was making it hard for this redneck, for Trump to hear, and so she just snapped, and I have so much footage of her too saying like funny things, but she then just like lost it and starts going, go back to your country, this is our country, you fucking rat, you goddamn rat, this is our, I'm just like, oh my God, you just gave them everything that they wanted to get.
That was the one
they could
person
brand
who was
every
there to
person
save
here
them.
for. And so there's people like that who support everybody, and the whole idea of the propaganda is to brand each side and each group by the worst that they can find who
Well,
represents
they don't
those
even
groups.
need that super
yeah.
drunk lady to say something like that. All they need is an agent provocateur that goes out there and says that same shit. If they don't get the organic response that they are looking for that clip, they'll just send somebody out there and be like, say the craziest shit ever, like yell this.
And that was exactly during COVID. I remember, and I hate to keep bringing up COVID, but that was a very eye-opening thing for a lot of people, where everything in the news was so and so who, discredited the vaccine now wishes he did on his deathbed, and that was every major news story. And it was just no-name people who were just randos that were dying because they didn't get the vaccine and were dying of COVID. That was every single person, and they were maybe not even real people, but that was everywhere.
Right. Yeah. No, it's crazy the way they use the stereotypes of these groups in the media to control the conversation about it. So people, in large part, especially online, in person, you can have a real conversation. At least with some
With
people, you
almost
can.
everybody, and almost
Yeah.
everyone isn't on either side diehard.
Right. And you have a lot of things you agree with, but with everything, a lot of the conversation happened on social media, what people react to, because it's people are conditioned to say shocking things and respond in certain ways to get attention, to post and whatnot, is people are just responding to the stereotypes they believe the other person is coming from. And many times people behave like those stereotypes, but it makes it really, really hard to have real conversations when the stereotype is what people are speaking to and not actually listening.
Same old tired
Yeah.
playbook.
Yeah.
All you got to do is say that.
Same old. I knew she's going to say that. I knew she's going to fucking say that. That wasn't one of the bets, but I knew she's going to say same old. I can't stand Kamala Harris. She's so intolerable to me. I look at her talk, and I'm just like, how do people not see how condescending? How do people not see how? Look, say what you will about Trump, but Trump will talk to people. Trump will go to some of these events and talk to people. Okay, Kamala goes into a coffee shop and she is responding to. They're like, "Hi, Kamala," and she's like, "Let me look at my teleprompter. Hi." It's just like crazy how inauthentic she is.
And Trump he's off the cuff and he's a little unhinged. They can't really control him, and he's kind of like a little baby. He's just like, bleh. He just says whatever he's thinking, but at least it's real. I mean, it might not be okay.
I mean, it might not
cool
even be
great.
real. Maybe he's playing a part still, but it
might be.
It appears more
but
real.
But his
in Kamala.
part is way cooler. Sorry.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the cooler part in this movie that we're all living up.
I think when you were covering the debate, I had jumped on for a couple minutes to see what was going on. That was the extent of the debate talk. And to look at her fucking condescending ass head and the way she looked, like, I can't imagine being married to that, which is why if you're married to that, you got to be Dougie, and be gay as fuck. Because there's no way he's banging that, in my opinion.
No, Doug's totally gay.
How does she turn anybody on besides with her mouth?
Right. And so Doug, I think the reason Doug is there is because, so I pulled up on the show the other day, I pulled up the campaign page with Kamala that said all of the first, because I was showing why I think they have her instead of Mike Obama. And I think it's because she would be the first Black Illuminati, Black Freemason, a Divine Nine member. And I think it is because she would...
Right, box checking.
Yeah, the other box checking was that she would have the first biracial marriage in the White House as president, and that she would have the first Jewish spouse as president. So,
carries a lot of weight these days.
Yeah, I think that he is probably her handler. I think that he was Joe Biden's handler as well, and I think he's definitely homosexual.
I just don't see a straight person being married to her. They probably haven't boned down in like that, maybe never, because they don't have any kids, right? So if you've ever seen
she has kids. She doesn't have any kids.
Oh, okay. So he has done.
No, they call her Mama Kamala because she got married when they were all adults. Her kids were all like 16 years or older, not adults, and then they started calling her Mama Kamala, and they were all his kids.
Mama.
And they started saying that they're going to have. It's nice to have maternal energy in the White House when she doesn't have maternal energy. She's not a mother.
She's got full on NPC.
Those kids probably hate her. I mean, let's be honest with you. She's probably going to spend any time with those kids. I don't see her hanging out with Dougie's kids while Doug's not there. I don't see them going to play fucking putt-putt.
Can you imagine her like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and taking them to the park? That has never happened.
No,
there's no fucking way.
Fucking peanut butter and curry.
She doesn't even know what that is. That video where she was in the mini mart or whatever, and she's like, "What is all this pleb food?" And then she grabs a bag of Doritos, and it's like, she doesn't even know what those are. What are these strange crunchy corn triangles? She doesn't know.
It's just all fake.
Yeah,
Everything
you can see her trying to pretend that she is like that. She has this. So they give them these narratives, and so she's trying to tell the story of her mom being middle class and all the time now, and growing up in a working family, which is not true. Kamala didn't grow up struggling, but they all have these stories they create. These like fictional characters, like the Stacey Abrams actually tells her fake story very well. AOC tells her fake story very well. And Kamala can't even recall her fake story from memory because she's too much of an alcoholic, in my opinion, to tell it well, that she fumbles through it all the time. They had the McDonald's thing in there. She worked at McDonald's, and they found out that's not true, which that was in there for what, like a month?
Weird.
Show us a fucking picture of you passing out some French fries at McDonald's.
So the problem is
AI could do that.
That's true. It's very true.
AI can alter history way better than any fucking politician.
I just love that the left, the left is just ridiculous with what they're trying to promote, and the right is like, we want guns and rights, and it's easy to make fun of that. Like from where we stand, I'm not making fun of it. Like at least that they know what the fuck they believe in. Even if I don't believe in that or care, they know what they believe in. They have their goals in mind. The left is just like, I don't really know what to do next. Can you guys tell me? Vote blue no matter who. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, but they say Kamala knows her values. They want to
Bitch,
keep
we
it a big
think.
tent to bring it all in. Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was fun. I enjoyed talking to you guys. Thanks for mocking this with me. I didn't know how this CNN show would go, but always appreciate
It was
hanging out with
about
you guys.
as expected, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
thank you for having
would
us
think
on. I
so,
hope
yes.
I hope your audience didn't hate us too much. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah, fuck
they'll get over it. I think the most of them probably enjoyed it as well. But Josh, if you're still there, I don't know where Josh might have dipped out. But thank you for joining us as well, Josh. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Check out Legit Bat. Check out Action Show Studios and Josh on X. And we'll do it again soon. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And